It begins with you, Team Hawaii. So I'm born and raised there, and I began my Nu Skin journey in June of 2021. At the time, I was graduating with my bachelor's and my master's in economics. Okay, can I get a show of hands? Who here has just had a grand master plan for their life? You just flopped. You thought you were gonna get married by this age, travel here by this year. Any show of hands? I thought there'd be more, but that's okay. As for me, I'm rolling with the punches of life. I started forming this idea of what I didn't want. I was a Division I athlete, 2 degrees, and absolutely no idea what I wanted to do. I realized I had dedicated my whole life to playing softball, but I wanted this life of flexibility and balance that being an attorney couldn't afford me. So here I am, summer of 2021, with no job lined up. I got on LinkedIn and I searched and I searched. And while I was searching, I reached back out to my mentor, Summer. I reached back out to her after 6 months of contemplating the opportunity. I was really looking for some type of supplemental income. I had no idea what was ahead of me, but I knew that the business would open me to relationships and stretch my brain in a new direction. So a little pivot here, leading up to June of 2021, I was using the Lumi Spa for about two years. I struggled badly with acne and scarring because of playing softball with face masks during the pandemic. So summer got me signed up in June, and to be completely honest, I wasn't sure what I was getting myself into. I was only 22 at the time, and I had a lot of questions about the business, and I was skeptical. But Summer is a family friend, so I said, hey, this opportunity must be pretty legit. And I am confident that 99.9% of you have felt that same skepticism. So I started on Instagram, which is my main social platform and still is. I posted adventures and photos and started sharing my fashion and outfits. So including the products from Nu Skin was just a natural choice because it gave me results like no other on the market. So initially, my goal was to just have one person achieve similar results to mine. And as I continued sharing and engaging in meaningful conversations, I realized that these interactions with people were driving my sales. The key for me was in these conversations, which I rinsed and repeated, and these meaningful conversations have blossomed into some really, really beautiful relationships. So what was happening, and I didn't know it at the time, is something I like to call and always preach to my team is organic growth. So when I was asked to speak at Live, they said my topic would be recruiting with social media. So that had really forced me to sit down and think about my business and my team's growth. And some brainstorming on this organic growth, it can be broken down into 2 parts. And that first part is compounded consistency. And it may sound really simple, but look, I was an athlete, okay? A great example is when people say, you'll feel so good getting back into workouts for the first week or 2. Complete BS, okay? That first week is tough. But as I kept going, I'm slowly seeing my body change, right? I'm getting some muscle memory, and it's the same with the business. Part 2 is a strong customer base. So let's dive in. At the start, I wouldn't consider myself very goal-oriented. I didn't even know what the business and the company could offer me. However, with the consistency and sales rolling in, the opportunities did too. I needed to not only take the first step, I continue to build my presence on social media. I wanted to use these photos here up on the slide because I showed up. I was filtered using the Lumi and I was nervous, but I showed up. And my tangible daily items to this day are to show up every day and make connections by talking about products and sharing about non-Nu Skin topics. And what this does is it allows me to build trust and becomes well-rounded in terms of topics to communicate with people on. 80 to 90% of the time, these conversations would convert that person into my customer. And continuing to nurture that relationship always highly increased my chances of recruiting and gave me opportunities to casually pitch, which I will revisit at the end. So I'm leaning into my consistency, I'm compounding it. Are you hearing me? Everybody awake out there? So potential customers, right, they need to know that we're invested in their best interest. It's our job to establish ourselves as someone who a potential customer or business partner views as a resource. So that's key number one for me in this business, compounded consistency. The second part of organic growth is customer base. So back around 2022, I had some of the most pivotal moments in my business. Excuse me. A year and a half in, I had two women come to me asking me about the business. One of them just had a newborn, so she's at home, and the second one is sitting out in the crowd, and they're two of some of my most fearless leaders. She was my customer for a while, and she asked me, how do I become a sponsor? And it was at that moment I realized, yes, I was enjoying this journey, but a strong customer base is my recruiting gateway to the business opportunity. If she is interested in joining my team without me asking, what qualities am I possessing and showing through my consistency that made her become interested from a customer perspective? In addition, what strategies could I and should I be implementing to move the needle on my recruiting through my customer base? So let's focus on qualities. I know for one, I have fun sharing. For two, I'm resilient. Dry DMs and messages don't stop me, and no's don't stop me. And for three, I am confident in the work I am putting into my business. So let's revisit that. I am confident in the work I am putting into my business. The customer care, the white glove service, this prioritizes the customer satisfaction. And that satisfaction strengthens the relationship and opens the doors to recruiting conversations. So you may be thinking, they're your customers, well, what are you saying to them? Business is all about our customers. Prioritizing them means leaving it up to them. And that includes the business, and that is how we strengthen the relationship. Keep conversations quick, casual, mutual, and easygoing. As a mentor, I keep humility close to my heart, but I am confident in knowing what I bring to the table and what this company brings to the table. We don't need to beg. We need to inspire. Not beg, no. Inspire. And this is how it begins with you. Team Hawaii is growing. Excuse me. My grand master plan. My grand master plan to go to law school didn't work out, but I think I did one better. I am now seeing the compounding effect of my consistency. staying the course to continue building relationships and trust. And through my customer base, I now have the honor of calling over 150 women my business partners. So recruit through social media. Let them know who you are. 3 years ago, I felt like I had absolutely zero options and zero direction. However, in committing myself to the process, I have witnessed more and more opportunities. So much so that my why to show up every day to run my business has changed. Now, if you didn't hear anything, I don't blame you. I have the attention span of a fly, and we had a long day yesterday. But if I can leave you with just 2 things this morning, 2 strong words on recruiting, they are consistency and customers. Take your first step and go all in.